Howdy, hey, how's it going? My name is Lauren May and welcome to this video. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my 2021 Netflix recommendations, or recommendations that I have right now. Obviously that's going to change as I watch more things and more things are added to Netflix, but as of right now, this is what I'm recommending. Let's get straight into it. So the first one that I want to recommend to you is kind of like two shows, but they're very much connected. So I recently rewatched H2o Just Add Water. This was a show that was on TV on ABC3 when I was a kid. I would come home from school or on a Saturday or whenever it was on and watch this show. I loved it. I loved the idea behind it, and so it was really cool to go back and actually watch it all in full. So that was really cool. And then I realized that there's a show that kind of not follows on from it, but it's based off of that kind of idea and it's located in the same place, and that's called Mako Mermaids. And so they both kind of coincide in the same universe, which is really cool. Different plot lines, different things happen in both of those series, but I very much recommend if you're into great content that's kind of kid friendly, doesn't have, you know, nudity or violence or language or anything like that. It's just an easy watch, and the episodes are only like half an hour, so you can breeze through the series in no time. I definitely recommend. So I recently rewatched all of The Legend of Korra, which is based off of the Avatar The Last Airbender. It's like the next series after that. And after watching that, I found this show called The Dragon Prince, which has the same actor who plays, or voice actor who plays Sokka in Avatar The Last Airbender. So I thought that was really cool, and it turns out they're actually made by the same people too, which even makes it better. Definitely different storyline. This is based on a guy and a dragon and all of these fun things, and it's called The Dragon Prince, and it's kind of a mixture between like Knights of the Round Table and like King Arthur and like that, mixed with like fairies and dragons and magical creatures. It sounds kind of weird and odd, and it kind of is, but I actually really enjoyed it, and it definitely was something that I enjoyed to follow on after Avatar The Last Airbender and The Legend of Korra, because it kind of, you know, has not the similar themes, but like easygoing kind of content to watch. Yeah, so recommend that if you're into those kinds of shows. I can't remember if I recommended this on my last Netflix recommendations video or I've spoken about it somewhere on my channel, but I watched Alexis and Katie and I absolutely loved it. Now this show is kind of similar to that. It is called Ashley Garcia Genius in Love, and it's about a girl who's like super smart, and she like jumped through university and high school really quickly, and she's 15 and she's got a job at like basically NASA, and she's now living like a normal teenage girl life. I definitely enjoyed it. It's really cool kind of seeing how they wrote her into like a love story, you know, her being kind of awkward and nerdy, and then, you know, this, you know, varsity kind of like popular guy she likes. And I just really liked how her friend group works and the problems that they have in each episode. I just find it really fun and easygoing content to watch. Again, no swearing, no nudity, no nothing, because it's a kind of a kid show. So definitely recommend for that as well. So what was that? I think it was like August or October last year. This show came out on Netflix, and I kind of didn't really know about it until I saw it take over TikTok, and I was so confused about what was going on. And then I watched it, and I cannot tell you how obsessed I was with this show. I think I've watched all 10 episodes at least 3 times all the way through. I love this show. I am like, I don't want to say obsessed, but like I'm pretty like high up there. So I found Julie and the Phantoms. Now, a lot of people say that it's a kid's show, and it kind of is, but it is amazing. And I don't really want to explain the plot line because you would think I was insane. But it basically is about a ghost band. I'll just leave it at that without giving it away. The director is Kenny Ortega, which is the guy who directed High School Musical, The Descendants, High School Musical, the musical, the series. I think he even did Dirty Dancing. Like, you know, his content is great. The musical numbers are amazing. The songs are just OMG. I just am singing them all the time. I love it. The character development, the characters that they have. It's just so amazing, and I could honestly watch it over and over again, and just like, I'm so excited. Like, I'm on the edge of my seat waiting for season 2. Like, I love this. So if you're a fan of High School Musical or The Descendants or anything like that, or even Glee, like, this show is for you. 100% recommend. Even if you're not really, like, just watch it. You'll be obsessed with the cute boys in it, because I definitely am. I'm not ashamed to admit that Charlie Gillespie and Owen, whatever his last name is, are just the cutest dudes. And they're even also in real life, which is kind of great. But anyway, if you want a new TV obsession, I think this is the one. I think this is going to take the world by storm, just like High School Musical did. That's one to look out for and watch. Definitely watch it. Watch it. Definitely. Okay, so those were my first kind of initial recommendations. Obviously, all of the ones that I've just recommended are kind of kids shows or like very G-rated. I've been trying to filter out a lot of my adult content just because I don't really want to watch sex and violence all the time. Sometimes you just want easygoing content. But I have found some really good kind of more mature shows that I have watched. And if you're into them, I definitely recommend as well. So because we're in the middle of a pandemic and COVID happened and a lot of TV productions have stopped, I've had to look for new content to watch. And unfortunately, it's a lot more content than I want to admit how much I'm watching shows at the moment. But one that is definitely like super trendy at the moment, and if you haven't watched it, I recommend, is Bridgerton. TikTok is like suggesting a musical and I'm obsessed with that idea, but it's basically like set in what, the 1800s, and it's about like the debutantes or like the girls trying to find men to marry. I loved all of it, but I didn't realize that there was going to be so many sex scenes. So if you're not into that kind of content, don't watch it, or at least fast forward through those scenes. But the concept of the whole show I absolutely love, and I think it will do very well and have lots of seasons as well. A totally random show that I stumbled across is Teenage Bounty Hunters. Sounds totally bizarre and actually very much is. But yeah, it's about these girls who kind of stumble into helping this bounty hunter out, and they end up like actually getting paid to do it with him. They're from a very conservative Christian home, and so they're very conflicted with like morals and like other things that are happening in their life, like their mum's in trouble, just general questions that teenagers have when they're at that age, but then add on like the pressure of a super conservative home and a super judgmental school and a super preppy school, and just like all of those things, and you come out with this show. And then add on the fact that they're secretly bounty hunters. That's like what you get. So it's very weird, and if you're into weird teenage drama, this is for you. And the last show that I found randomly as well, and I wasn't sure if I liked it, but I pushed through and it actually kind of turned out okay, was Warrior Nun. Now again, it sounds really weird, but basically there's an elite group of nuns that train to be like demon hunters. This girl kind of stumbles into that kind of situation and accidentally kind of becomes one of them without actually being a nun, so like everyone doesn't like her, and then they gotta fight bad guys and demons and monsters. Kind of weird and cool. So this concludes my Netflix recommendations for the moment. I'm always watching new content, so this is always going to be changing, and I will always have new things to share with you, but right now this is what I think you might like. If you have any recommendations for me to watch, leave them in the comments down below. I'd love to find a new awesome show to watch. And if you're not already, please subscribe. The button is down below, and you can click that notification bell to be notified every single time that I upload a video. I try and make it as consistent as possible, but unfortunately that's not always how things happen. But please be patient with me, and I love creating content for this channel, and I hope that I can share that with you. I have another Netflix recommendations video that I made in 2018, and I still stand by most of those recommendations. So if you're still looking for something after you've watched all of the ones that I spoke about today, go check out that video and you will find some more things to look at and watch. I hope you have an amazing day, and don't forget to hug someone today.